How do you optimize your day as an entrepreneur for extraordinary performance? My friends, I've got a special guest today with us that's going to help us answer that question, so make sure to stick around. We'll be back in 20 seconds. Okay, welcome gamers to the season, training day 3 inside the extraordinary game of entrepreneurship and how to play it. My name is Chris Allen White. I am the game master, and my role today is to disrupt your thinking. I've actually got a special guest with us today who's going to help disrupt your thinking as well. And we're passionate about doing that because we want to empower you to live outside your phone booth so that you can share your extraordinary with the world. Now, if you're here with us for the first time today, you may be thinking to yourself, what the heck does living outside your phone booth have to do with anything? Well, just ask yourself this question. What would have happened had Superman never gotten out of the phone booth? I mean, quite literally, what would have happened? Exactly, right? Nothing would have happened. And that's why living outside your phone booth every day is priority number 1. And so, gamers, if you're ready, then I'm ready. Andrea, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Game on. All right, gamers. So one of the most frequently asked questions I get from people is, Chris, how are you, as a 7-figure producer online, how are you able to create consistent, extraordinary results in your business? Just recently we had nearly a $400,000 revenue month. And you can imagine there's a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot of focus, a lot of energy that goes into creating those consistent results inside of my business to make that happen. And so this is a question I quite often get. And a lot of times what the person's looking for is some type of marketing tactic or strategy or some tool they can use online. And while all those things are important, my real secret weapon is my health and nutrition. And so that's one of the big reasons here inside of the extraordinary game of entrepreneurship and how to play it. It's why we've created the tagline that says this is the definitive playbook for entrepreneurs on their adventure to achieve health, wealth, and happiness. Because you can't achieve wealth, you can't really live at extraordinary levels of performance in your business if you don't have your health dialed in. And so what we've decided to do, and this is why my wife Andrea is here, we've decided to do a 7-part mini series on how to optimize your life, your business to achieve extraordinary performance as an entrepreneur. And so I brought my wife in today. Andrea is a certified functional nutrition therapist. She's an entrepreneur. She runs a clinical practice with a naturopathic doctor here in Colorado. And so Andrea is going to be taking us through this 7-part mini series here over the next 7 weeks. And so let me just bring Andrea in here. And one of the things that I got to tell you this backstory before Andrea starts to give us her wisdom here. But before I met Andrea, I was your typical entrepreneur. I was the guy that was, working crazy hours. I had a full-time job. I'd come home. I'd typically stop and get fast food, ate a lot of pizzas, had my kitchen, my refrigerator full of Monster energy drinks and Starbucks double shots. And, I was the guy who always was dealing with caffeine headaches and brain fog. And I really felt like I was just grinding. I was just in the grind. I was just making it happen. And then I met Andrea, believe it or not, inside of a grocery store is where our story began. And so Andrea came into my life, and she's really been not only a huge blessing to me and my business, but she's really the secret weapon. She's really helped me dial things in on the health and wellness side. And it's really the reason why I've been able to achieve extraordinary levels of consistent performance inside of my business. And so without further ado, Andrew, I'm going to bring you in. I know we've got a lot of entrepreneurs watching this morning, and I got to believe a lot of them are probably in the situation I was when we first met, and I was just struggling to really pull it together on the health side of my life. And I know you started talking to me about, whole food, real food diets. Chris, you really need to start focusing on whole food, real food diet. And I remember when you said that, it sounded cool. It sounded like, yeah, I need to do that. But I remember also thinking, what the heck does that even mean? So maybe we just can open with that. When you talk about whole food, real food diets, why as entrepreneurs do we really want to start there?
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for having me. And we did meet in a grocery store, didn't we? That's
yes,
pretty,
we did.
pretty
She
fortuitous.
chased me down aisle 7.
I have a different story, but okay. That's for another time.
We'll do that on another show.
So really this lifestyle eating is going to give you the cleanest, most sustainable source of energy. And, as you know, as entrepreneurs, our livelihood is based on our ability to think, to create, to focus, execute, and to live in peak health is going to give you the ability to do that well and consistently well over a period of time.
Okay, awesome. So I guess that's a summary level answer onto why whole food, real food diets are going to be valuable to us. Let's talk about, what the heck, when you say whole food, real food diet, what is that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So we're talking about meat and fish and poultry and eggs, seafood, vegetables, fruits, healthy fats from nuts and seeds and oils, legumes and beans, even whole and unprocessed grains like oats and millet, barley, rice, of course, all your herbs and spices, and then anything combining those things together with very few other added ingredients. So really the sum is just a totally natural and unprocessed diet.
Okay, awesome. So you just said a lot. I know people who may be watching the show here who are like I was, just kind of taking all this in for the first time. Are there any, tips or tricks that you have for entrepreneurs who are maybe traveling and they're getting food maybe at a grocery store somewhere or even just, at home? Are there any tips and tricks that you would offer to really help us know if something's a whole food, real food?
Yeah, so I like to use the water test with my clients. So it's really, really simple. If you hold your food underneath water, does it ruin it? If it does, then it's likely not a whole food or a real food.
Water test. Interesting. So write that down in your playbook, entrepreneurs. Water test. Always can go to the water test. So let me ask you this question. It's a pretty basic question, but if we're focused on whole food, real food, why would you say you got to stay away from all the other stuff that you've helped me kind of eliminate from my diet? Why is that?
Yeah, so the process of food refining has really introduced 3 harmful ingredients that are destroying health. And those would be flour, sugar, and industrial seed oils. So along with these things come a lot of chemical additives, preservatives, things that our body just doesn't recognize. And so what it does, it'll store those things deep in the adipose tissue, so your fat tissue. So it's going to cause excess weight gain, inflammation. And when we talk about inflammation really is the root cause of all disease and weight gain. So really, food toxins, all of the fake foods, all of that, that's the first and most important step, is getting rid of all of that to really naturally boosting your energy levels and improving your health for your business and for your body.
Okay, awesome. So I got to ask this question. I'm sure there's a lot of entrepreneurs watching today. A lot of us are type A, push hard, foot all the way on the pedal. Is there anything that we can do as entrepreneurs to accelerate our results if we're ready to just dive in and make this happen?
Yeah. So I think, Chris, this is a really good opportunity to talk about the first principle of functional medicine or nutrition, which is you have to remove all harming agents before the addition of therapeutic agents. So I'll say that one more time because it's really important. You have to remove any and all harming agents before the addition of therapeutic agents. So just to kind of give you an example of what that means, I could give you the highest quality practitioner-grade supplements. I could put you on the best exercise regimen. You could be working out all the time. And you're still not going to be fully optimizing your health if you haven't addressed the food. So you're not going to feel your best, look your best, perform your best if the food component hasn't been addressed. So removing all of those toxins, removing anything that could be harming you is really how you accelerate your results.
Awesome. So there's a writer downer, gamers. You have to remove the harming agent before you introduce the, hold on, don't tell me, before you introduce the therapeutic,
you didn't write it down.
the therapeutic agent. Is that right?
Yeah.
You have to reduce the harming agent before you introduce the therapeutic agent. I think it was that first principle that forced me to get rid of my Monster Energy drinks, right?
Gone.
Okay, awesome. Now we're focused on water. Well, cool. So Andrea shared a lot today. This has been awesome. Is there any tips, tricks, hacks, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap things up today?
Yeah, so I'll leave you with just 3 of my own life hacks. So the first one really comes from some reading that I was doing, which just kind of talks about how the habits of the most highly successful people, so we're talking CEOs, we're talking entrepreneurs, we're talking presidents, they really have a uniform that they wear every day. And I say uniform by meaning that they don't think about what they wear. It's either, the gray suit or the blue suit. I mean, it's very systematic. And that's so that they can focus on the really important decisions in their day. It's not about what they eat. It's not about what they're wearing. It's about making important decisions for our country, for their business, for whatever it is. So I like to apply that to food and having a meal template. So think about each one of your meals having a similar template. So you've got a high quality protein. So back to our whole foods. This is your eggs, your fish, your poultry, your meats, your seafood. You've got the high quality protein. You pair that with a healthy fat. So usually cooked in a healthy fat or consumed with a healthy fat. So it could be an avocado, it could be avocado oil, it could be coconut oil, butter. Any of those would be good sources of fat. And then you've got a whole food carbohydrate. So talking about our beans and of course all the vegetables, leafy greens, root vegetables, your whole food carbohydrate. So those 3 things, if you have it at every single meal, is going to give you the meal template that you need. So you're not even thinking about it. You just know you've got to have those 3 components. So an example could be for breakfast. I'll kind of share our breakfast. So 4 eggs every day, 3 eggs every day. We put that with half an avocado. So there's your healthy fat. And then our whole food carbohydrate is usually a fermented food. And we'll talk about gut health in the future because I love to talk about gut health. So that could be your whole food carbohydrate. You could also throw in, the leftover sweet potato from the night before or some leftover veggies. That could be your whole food carbohydrate. And that fermented food is like your bonus. So we'll talk more about fermented foods in the future. So that's my first tip.
Awesome. So when I'm thinking about your first tip, I always tell our entrepreneurs that were my clients that we coach, I like to say that wealth is created by systems, not by people. And so as you're sharing this meal template idea, it's making me think, could we say that health is also created by systems, not by people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Correlate?
Yeah, and kind of... that leads us into our second point, really, which is the planning process. So planning your meals, and really planning is half the battle. When you're trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle and you're trying to do this whole food, real food diet thing, you've got to know, what you're eating. So planning your meals and your snacks, and you've got to have the inventory. So you got to be prepared with the ingredients. So my second tip is, if you haven't heard of it before, check out thrivemarket.com. So this is a health food website. Very cool. It's a $60 yearly subscription, but everything on there is health food, and it's all been discounted. So the way I like to describe it to my clients is, think about the quality of whole foods, but at Costco prices, and then delivered to your doorstep like Amazon. Perfect if you're an entrepreneur, right? So you're getting healthy, high quality food delivered right to your doorstep. They have a really cool purpose in that they also provide with every subscription that you do, they donate a subscription to a family that needs health food, that can't afford it. So really cool way to give back as an entrepreneur and experiencing success in your business, then giving back and watching other families experience health as well.
Awesome. And is there any other hacks you want to take us through?
Yeah, so I'll leave you with one final hack. This is batch cooking. So some people do a meal planning day where they do all their cooking on one day. That doesn't really work for us and for our family. But what we do is just batch cooking. So I'll cook a ton of protein. So I'll make a bunch of steak or chicken or ground lamb or ground beef or salmon so that I can use that in multiple different dishes. So it's not the exact same meal every day. It's kind of remixed. So we do salmon salad, and then we do salmon, just a grilled salmon. You can do this with vegetables as well. You can remix the veggies. So I do big batches of root vegetables, baking them, sauteing them, and then you'll see them revisited in several different meals. So it's a way to get around the meal prep for every single meal of your day.
Awesome. Batch cooking, meal templates, and thrivemarket.com. And then make sure you got to remove the harming agent before you introduce the therapeutic agent. And that's what we got today, my friends, in our part 1 in our 7-part mini series on how to optimize extraordinary performance as entrepreneurs inside of our businesses. You have to really make health a priority. That's why we've made it a priority here inside of the extraordinary game of entrepreneurship. Andrea, thanks for being with us today. This is our first video together as entrepreneurs. We've been talking about doing something together for years, since we've Andrea and I have both been building our business for years now. We've always talked about doing something together. So here we are. Thanks for participating in our inaugural video together. Hopefully it was a success. Hey, go ahead and leave your comments below. Let us know what your questions are. Leave us your comments, and we will see you back here next week for part 2 inside of our 7-part mini series. And bye for now.
Bye. Oh, wow. Wow. What's going on?
Thanks for listening to the extraordinary game of entrepreneurship and how to play it. And remember, gamers, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So get out of your phone booth and go share your extraordinary with the world.